After an A-League decade filled with both ups and downs, there is no better way to say bye-bye to an old decade and hello to a new one, except by breaking down the top 5 players in the A-League for the last decade. But before we begin, a reminder that this list is based on success and overall performance on the pitch, rather than big-name marquees such as Del Piero, David Villa, Harry Kewell, or Tim Cahill, who were only in Australia for a short amount of time. Starting at number 5, it's the Japanese attacking midfielder, Shinji Ono. Ono has participated in 3 World Cups with Japan, but during his time in Australia, he played 51 games. He went on to win the A-League in the 12-13 season and won the Asian Champions League the year after. Ono was truly a midfield magician. During the years he spent with the Wanderers, his coach was Tony Popovic, a team which played superb attacking football and everything was so fluid. And also all the plays pretty much went through Ono. He was truly one to remember. At number 4, we have one of the most clinical strikers in the A-League history. At the time of recording, he scored 122 goals for 3 different clubs, which is a Hyundai A-League record. And it's 56 more goals than anyone else in the previous decade. He is also the only player in the history of the A-League to score 20 or more goals for 2 different seasons. And yes, it's Besart Berisha, having won the league 4 times in total, twice with Brisbane Roar and twice with the Victory. Berisha is a man that's been around for nearly the whole decade. And simply, if this man doesn't play for your team, I can understand why you'd hate him. If you don't know much about the A-League, just think of him as the Diego Costa of Australian football. He's currently winding down his career for newcomers Western United, but he is still more than a decent striker to have in your squad. Ooh, it's getting serious now. Coming in at number 3, it's Diego Castro. Castro previously played for Getafe, who are now in the 1st division of the Spanish league, and has over 200 caps in the Spanish top flight. When Castro first signed for Perth in 2015, he was only planning to stay for 12 months. But look at him now, a man who at the time of recording has scored 43 goals and provided 23 assists in 5 seasons, while also winning the Johnny Warren medal with the Perth Glory in 2014. Castro is one of those players who's very talented, but his name is not as memorable as other players. And I personally feel this is largely because he hasn't played for a Melbourne or a Sydney side, which does tend to help. But that argument could simply be rejected because of a certain someone we're going to speak about a little bit later. At number 2, it's arguably a player who could be the number 1, but seeing that he's still currently playing within the A-League, there is a large possibility that within the next couple of years, he could climb up to number 1. And that is the Sydney FC Serbian genius, Milos Ninkovic. A player who technically is probably one of the best players to ever step on an Australian pitch. Every single touch he takes turns to gold. You know those players that just take one touch and you just know they're amazing players? Ninkovic is one of those. 16% of all chances created by Ninkovic have turned to goals. That is a ridiculous stat, which is why he's played at the highest level of football, participated in 1 World Cup and 3 Champions Leagues. Whether you go for Sydney FC or not, he's such a talented player and deserves the utmost of respect. At 35 years old, he's probably winding down his career now, but that only makes me wonder how good he really was at younger ages. Before we get into the number 1 position, I need to make some honourable mentions, and that goes to 4 certain players: Archie Thompson, Aaron Moy, Bruno Fornaroli, and Shane Smeltz, all who have contributed largely to the branding of the A-League and are class players, but some more than others. And now, coming in at number 1, the best player of this past decade is the one and only Thomas Broich. Has there ever been a player in the A-League to make as big of a contribution on one single team than Thomas Broich? Broich is the only player in the history of the league to win 2 Johnny Warren medals. He also claimed the Joe Marsden medal and was awarded the 2014 Best Player in the Final, where he helped the Roar come from behind and win the league, which made it their 3rd championship and was instrumental in both of the goals they scored. It doesn't stop there. Overall, he's guided the Roar to 3 championships, 2 premierships, all from the heart of the midfield, while also winning Club Player of the Year award 3 times. His medal tally only tells a part of the story, but from a personal perspective, watching Broich play gave me the most joy out of any other player I have ever seen in the A-League. All in all, we have mentioned some very iconic A-League players, and for a long period of time in that decade, a lot of those players we mentioned versed each other. Could this new decade bring in even more talented players? That was my opinion. Most importantly, what is yours? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, don't forget to thumbs up, subscribe, share, follow us on social media, share us on social media, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you know when a new video comes out. This was Football Oasis, and we'll see you next week.